We've got 3 different stances, and we're going to talk about why this matters and how it could reveal to you the one thing that's really holding you back. I mean, you could be stuck for a long time, and this one video could make all the difference. When you see what I'm about to show you, you're going to be like, how did I not see that before? Like, that seems really obvious now that you said it, Tom. Thank you. Now I can start to figure out what to do next to get out of this situation that I'm in. So we're going to break it down today. Thank you for joining me for this video. Your life's about to change. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tom, and I'm going to show you something today about the Enneagram that you've already known, but you never maybe really broke it down and figured this out for yourself. And when I show it to you, you're going to be like, crap, that's really helpful. How come I didn't see that before? And it may just unlock some keys to help you to figure out why you're stuck, where you're stuck right now, and what it would take for you to get unstuck. Now, it's going to be difficult, but once you see this, you'll start to think of maybe a path forward for yourself. Oh, but there's a lot of other ways to break down the Enneagram. One of the ways to break it down is called stances. And there are 3 different stances: assertive, compliant, and withdrawn. Now, 9, 5, and 4 exist together in what are called the withdrawn stance, 1, 2, and 6 in the compliant stance, and 8, 7, and 3 in the assertive stance. But realize that all of us, we have wings and we have lines of integration, disintegration, so we kind of move around in these stances as well. Some of us are naturally assertive, some of us are naturally compliant, some of us are naturally withdrawn. But we do move between all 3 of these stances. But here's the interesting thing. Although we move around between all 3 of these stances, my experience, my personal experience, and also from coaching over 1,000 different people, is most of us move in 2 of these stances pretty naturally, and then there's going to be one that's difficult for us. So for example, if you're an 8-wing 7 or a 7-wing 8, then probably my guess is assertive is probably going to come natural for you. The first thing we have to do is we have to break down what we mean by these terms. Assertive means that you wake up in the morning with an agenda and you're going off to do whatever popped into your mind, whatever you think needs to be done next, because you're so focused on your agenda or so focused on reaching your goal. And you will go against people and be probably very future oriented when you are an assertive person. Compliant, that means that you tend to look at your world around you, you tend to look at the needs around you, and you tend to be a person who focuses on, let's comply our energy with what needs to be done. Let's get our to-do list done. And you tend to be a person who's focused on the present moment. Withdrawn types, it tends to mean I'm going to move away. Like, I've got to get away from everybody in order to really figure out what I want, in order to recover my energy, to come back to myself, to deal with my problems, to re-energize. Most of us, my experience is we do pretty well in 2 of those areas, but then there's always one that feels like a challenge for us. It feels uncomfortable for us. And so you might be a person that does really good at complying. You show up at work, you're able to focus on the needs around you, you're able to stay focused on the tasks, and then when you go home, you withdraw and you don't want to be bothered and you want to relax, you want to recover. And what might be hard for you is to be assertive. And then there are some people who have a real hard time being able to give themselves permission to withdraw. They're so focused on getting their needs met in their world and moving their agenda forward that they feel guilty if they take a day off, and they feel guilty relaxing or recovering. It's like they go out and they try to rest and they just can't rest. They just start to feel overwhelmed with, I should be helping other people. I should be moving my business forward. Okay, so I want you to think about which 2 of these stances come most naturally to me. And sometimes there's clues, right? If you're a 5-wing 4, then probably withdrawing comes natural. And then look, a 5 has a line to assertive 7 and a line to assertive 8. So there's a chance, at least, that maybe you tend to withdraw well and you tend to become assertive well, but it might be hard for you to lean into that 6-wing of compliance. Or think, for example, if you're a 1-wing 2, compliant, probably you're able to comply your energy if you're a 1-wing 2 or a 2-wing 1, but it might be difficult for you to be assertive, or it might be difficult for you to withdraw. And then think 8-wing 7, 7-wing 8, both assertive types. And so chances are, if you're like one of those types, then you might know immediately, oh yeah, I'm very assertive, or I'm a 1-wing 2, I tend to be very compliant. And compliant, by the way, doesn't always mean easy to get along with. It means I'm a person that complies my energy with the needs around me. So I want you to think about those three different stances: assertive, compliant, and withdrawn, and start to ask yourself, which ones feel most like me? Which ones look like me? When I show up in the world at work, do I comply or am I an assertive person? Which one is most like me, or which two of these are most like me? And as you begin to figure that out, one of them will start to rise up as, yeah, that's hard for me. I don't know what it is about being assertive, but I just feel like some resistance to it. Like I don't feel like I want to be that person that goes out and starts telling other people what to do. I don't want to come across as aggressive. I tend to be a nice, kind, caring person, and I have a hard time being assertive. Or have a hard time being compliant, or a hard time withdrawing. I want you to think about the one that's a challenge for you, because that might unlock some reasons why you're stuck as we start to investigate that stance that's difficult for you to move in. Now, I don't know why there's resistance to this one stance. Once you've identified what it is, like it's really hard for me to be compliant, it's really hard for me to be withdrawn and be okay, it's really hard for me to be assertive. I don't know why there's this resistance, but you'll realize that there is resistance. And this resistance can keep you from being able to lean into that stance or lean into that type that's associated with it. It can be difficult for you to lean into that stance in order to be able to face your problems. Think of it like this. Problems are coming at you all the time. Every day you're faced with maybe hundreds of different problems or opportunities or challenges or decisions that have to be made. And you're going to tend to solve those problems in the two stances that are most natural to you. So you might try to solve that problem by being compliant. Let's say you have a loud neighbor. You have a loud neighbor that's keeping you up at night, and you might try to solve that problem in your natural stance of being compliant by trying to figure out how to deal with this problem yourself. Maybe you might think, I'm just going to get one of those wave machines in the middle of the night and, brown noise, and that way I won't irritate my neighbor, but I'll try to solve my problem with just turning up, white noise all night. Or maybe in a withdrawn way, you might think, I can't take this. I'm going to go out and sleep in my van. And so you actually go out and sleep in your van. You start sleeping in your van for a couple of nights, and then you share with your friend, life's not very good. I'm so tired because I've been sleeping in my van because my neighbor keeps me up at night. And your friend, who's an assertive type, looks at you and says, what are you talking about? Why don't you just go up and tell your neighbor to knock it off? Why don't you just go up there and tell them to stop? And notice, like, in that moment, you're like, yeah, I understand I could do that, but I just don't see myself as being the kind of person who can be assertive. And your friend who's looking at you thinks, this doesn't make any sense. Just go up there and tell them. And what I want you to see here is that all of us have one stance that's difficult for us. In other words, it's hard for us to see ourselves as being able to solve this problem by being assertive. Look, if you've been stuck in a problem for more than 6 weeks or 6 months or whatever it is, then what does that tell you? Your natural way of solving this problem, whether it's by being assertive and withdrawn, you're going to have to figure out how to do this in a compliant way. Or whether your natural way is to be compliant and withdrawn, now you're going to have to figure out how to solve this problem in this way that's difficult for you. You're going to have to find your voice and be assertive. There's no other way to solve this problem. If your problem lingers, it tells you that your normal stances, the normal way you try to solve it, aren't working. So the challenge is you got to be able to stretch yourself and grow. And that's what this is all about. This whole channel is about stretching yourself and growing. So you got to be able to stretch yourself and grow and say, okay, maybe this is one of those problems where I have to be assertive, or maybe this is one of these problems where I have to withdraw, or I have to learn to accept things as they are. The moment you accept whatever's going on in your life, in one way, it's no longer a problem because you've learned to accept it. And look, if you're an assertive person, okay, you've already tried to assert in some way, but it's not working. You've already tried to assert your will. You've tried to assert your agenda, and it hasn't worked. What does that tell you? That being assertive is not going to solve this problem. You might have to comply, or you might have to withdraw in order to resolve this problem. And one way you withdraw, one way you comply, is to just learn to accept and say, okay, maybe this is one of those things in life that I just can't change. Maybe I'm going to have to change by changing myself and learning to accept whatever I'm facing right now as being the new norm. And when you're an assertive, compliant person, it's hard for you maybe to accept that I can't change the situation, but that I need to learn to accept that situation, because the way you typically deal with problems is you do something. You take action and then it changes the direction or the outcome. But maybe you've already done all of that, but your problem hasn't gone away and you have to learn to accept it. You have to withdraw into this like peaceful acceptance. And look, 8 wing 7s, 1 wing 2s, notice right next to you is wing 9, which is all about you learning to accept and life or challenges the way they are. Watch, I want to show you guys something. That 1 wing 2, that 8 wing 7. Look, you have this wing 9 that's beckoning to you. Withdraw in a positive way. Withdraw in a positive way. Don't let this bother you. Learn to accept it. Learn to appreciate other people's perspectives. Stop feeling like you need to fix everything. And watch this. If you can't lean into that positive withdrawing 9 wing, ones, you're going to disintegrate to this negative 4. For you, 4 is this stress. You're going to withdraw in this 4 way, and 8s, you're going to withdraw in this 5 way. So look, you're going to end up withdrawing. It's just whether or not you withdraw in that positive 9 way, your wing, or down that line of disintegration, 1s to 4 and 8s to 5. So I want you to think about which one of these 3 stances is difficult for me. You don't have to figure out why. You just have to realize that, okay, well, maybe this is a time in my life, this situation I'm dealing with, this marriage problem, this work problem, this financial problem, whatever this challenge is that just won't go away. It won't go away. This is one of those situations where I'm going to have to comply, and I'm going to have to get my work done. I'm going to have to sit in my desk. I'm going to have to write this out, prioritize the list. I'm going to have to go down one by one until it's finished. It's not going to get fixed. It's not going to get fixed until I comply my energy to the needs around me. Or it's not going to get fixed. It's not going to be dealt with until I become assertive. And I have to look that bum in the eyes and say, sorry, no thank you. That's not going to work for me. I'm not taking your crap anymore. You're going to have to become assertive. Now, look, you don't have to get really good at this. You just have to be able to do it for maybe 20 minutes or maybe a day. You don't have to master this stance. It'd be great if we could learn to stretch and grow. But if you realize that you're good at 2 of these stances, well, then the path for growth is starting to reveal itself to you. If you tend to be a compliant and withdrawn person, then you're going to have to learn the rest of your life to become more assertive. If you're an assertive and withdrawn person, you're going to have to learn the rest of your life to consent and comply your energy with the needs around you. If you are a compliant, assertive type person, then the rest of your life, you're going to have to work on withdrawing and journaling and meditating and making space, chipping out space in order to take care of yourself, in order to rejuvenate, in order to recharge. Guys, this stuff is so powerful. I'm telling you, it's so powerful. And if you'll think about it for a minute, you might start to see some openings, some doors begin to open to help you get out of this pit that you're in and this stuck place that you're in. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be like simple, but you're going to say, how did I not see this before? How did I not see this? Thank you, Tom. This really helps. Okay. If you need some help along the way, look, I'm here for you. There's a lot of people that are here for you. Reach out to somebody, but certainly I'm here for you to help you take those next steps to start to become more assertive or start to become more compliant in life. I'll walk with you through this. Thank you, guys. I hope this video is helpful to you. Check out this playlist and check out this link to this other video if you want to keep growing and you want to keep improving yourself. As always, guys, be present to life. I'll see you next time.